Ed Bernstein Show. Now, here's Ed.
Well, there's so much going on in Las Vegas, and sometimes a property can fly under the radar, but now it's woken up, and it's the Virgin Hotel, formerly the Hard Rock. I mean, you got to say that.
You have to. You have to say that. You got to acknowledge the history, the nostalgia, and the impact that when it was Hard Rock, what the property had on the community.
Boy, I remember when the Hard Rock opened. It was really, it was changing, and it changed the dynamics of Las Vegas and a lot of the demographics. But, I forgot to introduce you. This is Cliff Atkinson, who is, you are, when you think of the premier hospitality leader, you are right up there in the top three.
Thank you. It's very
right
kind.
up there, and you've worked at some incredible properties over the years. I first met you. You were working at the Mandarin Oriental.
Yes.
But you've been with MGM. You were with Fountain Blue.
Yeah.
I can go on and on and on. I don't know how far back you want to go. But how did you get interested in hospitality?
Well, I grew up in San Francisco back when the city was very different, and I just fell in love with hospitality. I was working in hotels and restaurants and bars while I was going to college, and I just fell in love with the business. And I had great mentors, great leaders who helped guide my career and fell in with some great companies. I've been doing this for 30 years, half my career, 15 years. I was with Mandarin Oriental Hotel Group, and they moved me all over, New York, San Francisco, and they moved me here to Vegas. That was the catalyst for me coming here. And then I had incredible leaders here in Vegas. My first boss was Bill Macbeth. When he moved on from City Center to Cosmopolitan, then I worked for Bobby Baldwin. So I have some lineage to some pretty historic names here in Las Vegas, and just we love this community.
Did you know Henry Lewin in the San Francisco days?
I did. Henry, David.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, another icon in years gone by.
Yeah.
But hospitality, look, Las Vegas, it's not unusual for somebody to go into hospitality in Las Vegas. One of my daughters, in fact, graduated hospitality degree at UNLV, right? When you were doing it, it was a little bit less common.
Very, very. In fact, I initially, when I was going to school, wanted to be a chef, and that was way before, this is over 30 years ago, that was way before Top Chef was big. And so it was almost like learning a trade. But if you love the business and you love people and you love the great things we get to do with food and beverage, hotels, gaming, entertainment, look how this city's changed with sports. It's pretty exciting, and I have a pretty fun job.
When I think about what things you've done, Cliff, you've really had some incredible challenges. Even like Mandarin Oriental, hotel, fantastic property, but no casino.
Right.
Right?
Right.
There's a challenge to be in Las Vegas and have a non-casino property.
Yes.
You're over at the Fountain Blue. Look, for years we've been seeing that structure there. People, our viewers, all know the history of that.
Yes.
But that will eventually open later this year.
It will. We wish them well.
And now I think you have your biggest challenge.
Yep.
And it's a branding issue. You take a brand like the Hard Rock Hotel, which is iconic, and you change it. It was sold, and Virgin buys it. Richard Branson buys it, and now you're tasked with the responsibility of rebranding a hotel. It would have been easy if it was still the Hard Rock.
That's right. That's exactly right. It'd just be easy. Oh, we renovated and moved on, but
Right.
It is a challenge.
So how do you go about that?
Well, one, I think it's two things. The first thing is the asset. The physical property is fantastic. The amount of money and investment that the current ownership group put into the room product, the renovation of Nobu, the first Nobu outside of New York, the first Nobu in Las Vegas, by the way. Some of our great restaurants. The physical asset is really compelling, and it's a great property. The second thing is the people. You might change the brand on the door, and we believe we have a modern, relevant, contemporary brand to take the hotel in the future with Virgin. But the soul of that property is the people, and they are still there, and they're looking for the leadership, and they're the reason I get up every morning, put both feet on the ground, and I'm doing it for my 1,500 colleagues there.
Does a hotel need a niche in Vegas now? I mean, you can look like Circus has, you know, for 50 years has had its niche of family entertainment. You know, when the Hard Rock opened, it had a niche. Planet Hollywood had a niche. Bellagio, Encore.
Absolutely.
Is that necessary?
It is. I think it's necessary to define who you are and the customer that you're going after. And with Virgin, we really want to be the home of entertainment. I have 3 different unique theaters on that property, including the original Joint, which is now the theater at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. I have 24 Oxford, which used to be, back in the day, Vinyl. And then we have, which was most recently the Magic Mike Theater, where we're looking to put a new entertainment concept in there. So entertainment, excitement, and just constant energy is really our niche. And whether you're young, it's not really so much an age thing. It's people who want something a little bit different and a little bit removed from the Strip. Access to the Strip and all the energy, but a little bit removed, which we think there's a customer that definitely wants that.
And there's a lot of competition in that area as well. I mean, this year you have the Station Casinos is opening up a new property. The Fountain Blue is opening up a new property. That makes the job even more difficult, I would think.
It does, and that's where you really have to define who you are as a property, who you are as a brand, and who your customer is. But it's funny, Ed, since I've been in this town, and I've been here for a little over a decade, 2012, my family and I got here, it's always been competitive. You go all the way back to the history of this town. The town thrives on competition. It's the world's largest hotel market. It's so you have to differentiate, you have to communicate, and you definitely have to market how you're different, and just have people be aware that you're there and ready to take care of customers.
I recall one time either I heard you talk or I had a conversation with you regarding the need for professional sporting teams in Las Vegas. That has happened, Cliff.
That has happened.
You predicted it. Predicted it. It was years ago. I remember you were talking about it.
It was probably a decade ago. And again, being part of an organization at the time that I was with MGM Resorts and with Jim Murren and Bill Hornbuckle, they were visionary on that. And I remember that first Knights game, and I know you're a huge Knights fan,
Right.
as am I. I think the whole community is. But you had that very unique opening. And we go to the Stanley Cup the first year. I mean, it's a Disney movie. You can't create that.
Right,
People
yeah.
want to believe it. And the success the Raiders have had, the success that our back-to-back championship aces have had, and now with more momentum with baseball and the NBA on the horizon, the town just continues to reinvent itself. And properties like mine have to reinvent with it.
And of course, you didn't mention yet the Formula One races.
Yeah, minor little event coming. And so, look, at Virgin, we're very excited about Formula One because, look, the track involves the majority of the Strip. But for us, and this isn't me bragging, this is our geographical location. We are the closest property to the Formula One VIP Paddock Club. And so no matter where you are on the track, but if you're staying at Wynn, Bellagio, Venetian, you need to get over to that paddock. And we are the partner, we are the sponsor of the East Harmon Zone, which is the whole activation for the entrance into basically the all the VIP skyboxes and really where the action is, where the race starts and stops.
Is that on Harmon at Paradise?
Harmon and Koval.
And Koval.
And so we're on Paradise,
Right.
as you know. So we're steps away from that, but we're outside the racetrack, so people can come and go. We're the official rideshare partner of F1. So if you Uber to F1, you come to Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. We're very excited about that.
And of course, Sir Richard Branson, I would suspect that he's a big fan.
He's a big fan, and although I don't dictate his schedule, you can pretty much 99% probably count on him popping up at our property on Saturday of F1.
I was chatting with a county commissioner who told me that the Formula One races are much more important and valuable than even the Super Bowl for Las Vegas. Why is that?
I think one is the global excitement. I mean, the amount of fans that F1 has in Asia and Europe and South America. I mean, it is a global event. And Super Bowl is as well. But the F1 event, I compare it to like a golf tournament. The event, the opening, and all music and the way Vegas does things, that starts Wednesday, November 15th. And we'll go through with practice races on Thursday and Friday to the main event on Saturday night, which is also unique that the race is starting at 10 p.m. And so it's just like we do things here in Vegas. We're going to do it very different, but it's a longer time period than, say, a Super Bowl, which is one day, has a week, even a little bit more than a week of events leading up to it. But really, the bulk of our customers will be here for 4 days.
And the type of customer is different. I mean, you have billionaires flying private jets into Las Vegas for Formula One.
Yes,
right?
The amount of jets at Harry Reid that will be backed up, parked next to each other, it'll probably top what would happen with the Pacquiao fight. I think back in '17, where you have that famous picture of everybody being here. This is going to be that on steroids. And I think it's something somewhere in the realm of 3x what a major event we've had in Las Vegas before.
What does that mean for the hotel sold out for?
Yeah,
for
we do have a few packages left to sell, but we are well over 90%. Everything's fully prepaid, so really we're just getting ready for the show. And I know there's things in the market about are people dropping rates? I think people are just correcting what they're selling, but the demand is there. It's going to be a world-class event, and I think people are figuring out, should we come? And now that it's 3 weeks away from today, it's time to go. It's on everybody's calendar.
Wow, exciting.
Yeah.
Well, and the Super Bowl also.
Yes.
Right. I mean, it's following. It's less than 2 months after that, or 2 months after that event.
Exactly. That's
right.
What's incredible. You have this Formula One event, then less than 90 days, we will actually host the Super Bowl for the first time. And Super Bowl, as everyone in Las Vegas knows, is a big event for the town anyway. If you're not going to the game when it was in Miami or Arizona, people come to Vegas. It's a big weekend for the casinos. Now with the game actually being here, this is a whole nother level. And this is 90 days, less than, after the Formula One race. So it's a great story for Vegas, and it's a great way for, again, the community that keeps reinventing and keeps moving forward.
The other challenge I wanted to chat with you about, and it's funny because I think of you, I think of challenges. You're like the ball player, the utility guy that's got to come in at the 2 outs, 3-2 count, and try to make something happen.
That's right.
But the other challenge that I see that you have is in the Virgin Hotel, like a lot of most of the hotels, they control the gaming and they control the hotel. MGM runs both, for instance. At the Virgin, you have two different entities, right? You run the hotel component, but you have the gaming component is run by another entity, correct?
Mohegan,
as well as the sports book.
Correct. Betfred. Yes.
So somehow you have to get the triad of the group to agree on things that you're working on.
That's right. That's right. And that's the challenge. And that's kind of like, look, if you're if you're a baseball player or a football player, you want the ball. You want to be in the game. And this is the challenge that we as professionals want. Mohegan's been a fantastic partner. And when you look at, again, the evolution of Las Vegas, there are now 3 Native American tribes operating in Las Vegas. But we were the first with Mohegan here at Virgin. And look, they're a great partner. They have 20 million people in their database based out of Connecticut. But we're finding our way together, and we are the definition of collaboration. And we will continue to evolve what that means for our customer as well as for our employees. But it's a great story, and it's bringing best of class operators together. But it's also part of the story, making sure that people are aware. We've only been open for the past 2 years, and as you know, it takes a while for a property to find its way. City Center had that challenge when they opened. Cosmopolitan had that challenge those first couple of years before they really found their way and had such a success story. We're in that zone right now, and that's why I'm happy to be there, to bring partners and people and really collaborate. To also offer something a little bit unique that hasn't been in Las Vegas before.
And let's talk about those unique things that we're going to find at the Virgin. One of the Hard Rock was famous for a center bar.
Yes.
It was the first.
Yeah.
I think was it the first hotel that had the center bar?
It's the one that's synonymous with Center Bar. We were just touring a few of the properties this past week, and a lot of them had said, "Hey, based on your layout, the original Center Bar, that's what we're trying to do at this property." So it is the original. It's funny. It's actually the original day club too, if you recall Rehab back in the day.
I do recall, and day club being afternoon pool area, drinks, music, and fun. Right?
On a Sunday, when people were departing, they captured that crowd kind of for one extra day or at least one extra afternoon.
Right.
So in a way, our property has been trend-setting for years. We need to continue to do that. And so we're excited about some of the changes we've made, including launching, we have a brand new show launching this Saturday called Ladylike. It's in our theater, 24 Oxford, and we're very, very excited about this show. It's a women-empowered story. It's a woman-owned, women-produced show, and we're very proud to be really the home of it. And that launches this Saturday, October 28th. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m. is the showtime, which is a great showtime for people with pre and post dinner. And tickets are available at virginhotelslv.com.
And I guess we should talk about the restaurants because I mean
Love our
you've added some
restaurants.
new great things, and you kept some of the very famous institutions over there.
Exactly. And so starting with that one, with Nobu,
Nobu.
we have the first Nobu outside of New York City, certainly the first one here in Las Vegas. So very proud to have that. That's been with us for a while. And then we've innovated, with one of our best concepts on property is Cassie Beach House, which is really different, brings a younger demographic, your daughters, people who want to hang out and have something very, very different, has a very Mediterranean coastal breezy feel. It's a great restaurant. And then One Steakhouse, Michael and Jenna Morton, who have One Steakhouse. They've been with the property for years. They've reconcepted, and they have a beautiful restaurant that does a great job. Casa Calavera, our Mexican restaurant that was the original Pink Taco back in the day,
right,
that everybody knows. And we're going to continue to evolve, and we have letters of intent out with several new concepts, some that have never been to Las Vegas that I think really the world will be excited about. And we just continue to evolve the property. And that's what a property needs. It needs that constant evolution, but kind of holding on to what its DNA is. And in our case, that's our people. That's our style of service, and that's what our guests continue to come back for right now.
So when you look at your demographic, you're looking, I don't know, late teens, early, I guess, start at 21.
Yeah, we'll start at 21. Yeah.
21 to 50s, 60s, and that whole area?
It is, and it's funny. I used to say this at Mandarin too. It's not so much an age thing. You and I want to go out dressed up, and our wives want to look. It's not so much an age thing. It is something that we are something for people who want something a little bit different, really authentic. Again, you go into Nobu, and they nail it every single night. And something like Cassie Beach, it really doesn't exist anywhere in the market, any feel like that. And I encourage, we've had a huge Halloween party with a great looking crowd there last night. And so we offer a little something for everyone. Our theater does the same thing. We have great country acts during the National Finals Rodeo, NFR coming up. We're the home of that as well. Lainey Wilson, she sold out 4 nights in a row. So we have country acts, but then we can have a few urban acts. We can have some of our rock and roll. Jordan Davis, another country act, he just played Saturday night. So it's pretty eclectic and pretty varied. And I think people like that. They don't want to just be one thing. And some of the luxury properties in town do that very well, but our property, you can let your hair down. You can really be yourself. And if you and I are having a business conversation like this, we have forums for that. If we're with our wives, we have forums for that. And if we're with the group of guys and our wives are with the group of girls, there's venues for that as well. And I think that really sums up Virgin Hotels Las Vegas in a nutshell.
Are you going to maintain the rock acts at the Joint?
Yeah. So it's been rebranded to the theater at Virgin Hotels. But yeah, the rock and roll is what we were known for. And it's funny, I was just walking through with Sammy Hagar the other day, and like the crowd and the staff were like, "Oh, are we bringing rock and roll back?" And yes, I mean, rock and roll it's part of the hotel's DNA. But again, with our country, with some of the urban acts, with some of our dance acts. metal, like it's a pretty wide range. Our emo nights are getting some traction too. So I think that it's that eclectic nature that makes Virgin special. You never know what is quite going to be in that theater.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds intriguing. And Virgin's connected somehow with Hilton, right? I mean, can you explain to me, like Hilton has a lot of different brands.
They do.
Right?
They do.
And Waldorf being one of them.
Absolutely.
Right? And which now took over the Mandarin Oriental. But what is it, Curio? Is that how you say it?
Yes, a Curio collection. So we are partners with them to really access and help market to the Hilton database. And so we are partners with them, marketing partners with them. And we can take care of their customers, and we get to introduce them to the Virgin brand. So it's that type of partnership.
What is Curio, though? Is that...
Curio's their independent collection. So if something doesn't fit into a true Waldorf or the traditional Hilton hotel or some of their extended stay brands, Curio is for a very special group and collection of hotels. They have their own personality. And I think we fit right into that demographic within Hilton. People who want something a little bit different, certainly not cookie cutter, and has a unique personality.
I wanted to chat with you about COVID.
Yes.
Hotel industry basically was brought to a halt during COVID. But now that COVID is over, sometimes I go to a hotel and they're not changing the sheets. They're not, if you want your towel cleaned, you have to put it in a certain spot. Everything is different. I mean, all the services that you learned to expect from a hotel kind of disappeared during COVID. And it seemed to me that some hotels just have been reluctant to bring back the services.
Yes.
And what is going on in the hotel industry with that?
No, I've had the same experience, Ed, and that's where I think brands like ours or properties like ours can evolve is on the service. I think a lot of hotels through COVID, look, there were some rules, there were some state regulations. It was a crazy time, but now it can be a way of kind of hiding costs or hiding hiring or whatever the challenges might be. And so we want to be honest about that. We think we can win on service by making sure you do have daily housekeeping, you do have staff at the front desk, you do have technology that works that allows you to maneuver on property as a guest the way you would like to. And so we don't hide from those challenges. The industry needs to get back, but we at Virgin Las Vegas, we think we can actually differentiate by focusing on our customer and our employees who deliver that service to the customer.
Are there many Virgin hotels?
It's a growing brand. New York just opened. They're in Dallas, New Orleans, Nashville, so some unique cities. London, 2 in Scotland, and then of course Richard has his private reserve where he has not only Necker Island but 2 very, very high-end properties in Africa, and so it's a unique collection that's growing. We're very proud to be connected to Virgin Hotels. And it has that Richard personality. I want more of that. I was flying home from Europe with my wife this summer, and we were at the Virgin Clubhouse in Heathrow, and it's such a great environment in there. And I said, we need more of this because people know that area in Virgin. It's kind of defined airport or airplane travel.
Yeah, right.
And so we want to continue to do that.
It's connected to the airport at Heathrow.
It is, yes. And so we want to be able to do that in the hotel business as well.
You see that happening in Las Vegas one day, that we'll have a hotel connected to the airport?
I think so. You see it in San Francisco. You see it in New York. JFK has that TWA hotel. And so I think you can. Right now, we're pretty close. We're 5 minutes from the gate. So we can kind of service that right now.
You are about the closest hotel. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. A lot of people say, Cliff, what do you think about your off-strip location? And I think our location is a bonus. We're not on the other side of 15. We're not on the strip, so people can access us, especially from where I'm from San Francisco in the Bay Area. You can fly in, get to our property, experience everything that Vegas has to offer without leaving a property, get right back to the airport and get back, especially to California.
5 minutes from the airport. The other thing that COVID seemed to have disrupted was hiring people.
Yes.
And when I talk, even when I talk to our Congress people and senators, it seems that they're getting complaints all the time that it's very difficult to hire busboys, waiters, chefs, restaurant, housekeeping personnel. Have you experienced that as well?
Absolutely. It is a challenge. It's always been a challenge. It's even more so now. Plus, you mentioned some of the openings that are in town. That compounds the hiring. Sphere that just opened, another reinvention for the city that opened less than 30 days ago. So hiring is always a challenge, and that's where my approach is we need to serve our employees the way we also serve our guests. We need to take care of them. We need to make sure that they have proper work assignments. You know, the days of a guest room attendant cleaning 17 rooms in a day, I mean, those days are over, and they should be. And so being a different type of employer, I think, allows us to deliver a different type of service, and that's really important to us.
So after these new hotels come online in Las Vegas, are we complete in Las Vegas, or what do you when you look into? Look, you're always good at looking into the future.
Thank you.
So what do you see? We have about a minute left.
There's no slowing down. Look, I'm dear friends with Randy Morton at the Oakview Group. They're doing a great project down at Blue Diamond and Las Vegas Boulevard. That whole area, and if the Bright Line does come, if the A's come, this is all the next 5 years. And so it's just the next chapter for Las Vegas. And so there is no slowing down. I think you'll see properties change. You know, some properties will probably close, go down, new development coming, but the development is always here. This is Las Vegas. And even though there's gaming now, and I believe 48 states, just not in Hawaii and Utah, you can go down the street for a slots play. You can't get all of what we offer here in Las Vegas. You have to come here.
Yes or no? Is the Tropicana going to be replaced with a baseball stadium?
Speculating, I would say yes.
Thank you so much. Cliff Atkinson, Virgin Hotels. You got to check it out. I mean, this is an incredible experience. Rebranding and reimagining everything over at the Virgin. Go have dinner.
Thank you.
My name is Mark LaSala, and I'm a real client of Ed Bernstein's. I was driving on the freeway, truck cut me off, dropped this whole drive shaft, had a piece fly through my windshield, went across my body, and across my face. I found Ed's office through word of mouth. They just said he's the best of the best. They put you at ease. They show you compassion. They have your back.
I'm Ed Bernstein. You've heard a lot of promises made by lawyers on TV, but if you really want dignity, respect, and trust, call me. The call is free.